Alright, round 3. Hoping to get a little luckier than last time. This hand is a keep, but it's not the kind of keep that you're over the moon about. Especially on the draw. A little on the slower side. I'm gonna reserve judgment on what I want to do until I see their play. Well, they're not gonna show us anything, so... So we could just go for an early brainstorm. I don't see a lot of value in that. Playing Trop first does give us access to Daze, but playing Inkmoth first gives us access to attacking on turn 2. I'm gonna go with the Trop. I don't necessarily know how fast I need to be, and Daze is valuable. Okay, 2 Bloodstained Mires. I'm assuming they can do something on 2. Okay. Hopefully we'll be lucky and this will just be Burn or something stupid. Could be Goblins, could be Burn. Hard to tell. We did play... we'll Daze... Do we want to Daze the second Goblin Guide? If we do Daze, he loses a Goblin Guide. If we don't Daze, we take 4. Next turn play Inkmoth Blighted Agent. I think I am okay with that. Like, we're going to be under a lot of heat, obviously. But I think I can live with that. For the time being, at least. I'm just going to always yield to these. So we're going to draw another Invigorate, you say. Alright, so that means we can attack for 9 next turn. Of course, he does not know that. But that makes me a lot happier with the play we just made. So we're going to play Inkmoth, Lighted Agent. And then especially if he taps out or something and plays like Searing Blaze, like, oh my god, if he just goes land, oh, land Searing Blaze wouldn't work, but if he just plays Searing Blaze without landfall or something, god, I would not be happier. Obviously this is a lot of damage coming our way, but we don't really care. Wow. Alright, drawing double lands, huh? Sweet. Please don't just play Bolt. Damn, Chain Lightning, that's basically just Bolt. Alright, well, we can't stop it. But with Pendelhaven, we might be able to just straight up win here. Rift Bolt we don't care about. The only card that I really care about right now is Fire Blast. And I don't think that's going to be enough. So we play Pendelhaven. We animate our Inkmoth, give it +1, and then I think we just win the game. On turn 3. Because we have control of a forest. So considering they played Chain Lightning Riftbolt, I'm going to assume that they're Burn instead of Goblins. I don't think that's, you know, an absurd thing to think. Alright, so cast Invigorate the first. We're going to wait for it to resolve before we cast the second one, in case he does have Fire Blast. I mean, we do have Daze, but actually, yeah, so here's what we want to do. Control click. Hang on, let me make sure. Okay. So control, invigorate. So that should let us respond to it. Yes, and then in response, I'm going to cast Daze on that. So we're going to Daze his Fire Blast and just absolutely... He's getting ruined here, is essentially what you need to know. Because the Fire Blast getting countered on top of us double invigorating. So yeah, turn 3 kill. That's what we like to see, and that's what this deck is good at. Alright, so, burn. Dryad Arbor we could leave in, because it does gain us life, so that's not nothing. However, Wasteland is absolute garbage. as are Force of Wills. I mean, Force of Wills do have their use, but they're 2-for-1ing ourselves to counter, a Lightning Bolt is useless because they have 20 Lightning Bolts in their deck. Swords to Plowshares definitely has its place. Rest in Peace doesn't do anything. Hydroblast is great. Piracy Charm doesn't kill any of their creatures. Spell Pierce is just fine. What? Oh, this is 58. So we could bring in Necropedes, which are mediocre, I would say. I think I want Sylvan Library. They're not going to have artifacts, but they are going to have Sulfuric Vortex, which we might want to claim for. Nature's Claim also gives us a weird advantage of being able to, like, sack an Inkmoth Nexus to gain 4 life or whatever. We definitely want to be fast, though. Yes, Stifle. Stifle's bad. We don't want that in this matchup. That still leaves us with 2 extra slots, even with the Sylvan Library. Could bring in 1 Claim and 1 Necropede. That seems a little weird, but oh well. Oh yeah, Probes. Ooh, Probes are definitely suspicious. I'm considering taking a Probe for Swords to Plowshare / Necropede. Because the problem is the Probe, it hurts you. Like, it does draw you through your deck, but on the other side, it hurts you, and you don't really care to see what's in their hand because they're all the same card, virtually. They're all just different levels of burn. Do we want the sword? I'm not sure we want swords, so I'm just going to run with this. Although crop rotation's not the best either. Oh well, this is what we're going with. Legacy is a complicated format, folks. And with tons of one-ofs, it can be hard to manage sometimes. So yeah, we boarded in Sylvan Library because even though it costs us life, just having that extra bit of oomph as far as being able to draw cards can often just get you there. So I think we're going to keep this. We're going to dig up Basic Forest first because we want to play around Price of Progress, which is a card that I believe shocks you, or shocks each player for the number of non-basics they control. Vexing Devil, oh good. Yes, I would love to take 4 damage, thank you. So having Dryad Arbor in our hand is kind of awkward, and not having a cheap Infect threat is also rather on the awkward side, but you do what you can. So we're probably going to play Dryad Arbor turn 3, the way things have shaken out thus far. Alright, Goblin Guide, you say. What are we going to reveal to our opponent? Hopefully an Infect threat. That's not really what I asked for. But I guess I appreciate the effort. Chain Lightning. Alright, so we're already at 10, which is obviously very concerning. Crop rotation, you say. That could be useful. So that gives us some interesting choices. Currently, I think my best plan is to play Dryad Arbor, use it as a blocker, and then sacrifice it to crop rotation to grab Inkmoth Nexus, and then try to go off with Inkmoth next turn, considering that we have pump spells, though we won't be able to use Vines the way that we want to. The other alternative is to play just like land Sylvan Library, but with 3 cards in his hand and a Goblin Guide bringing us to virtual 8, like, it shouldn't be that hard for him to deal 8 damage to our face. So yeah, we've got a bit of an awkward hand here, to be honest. And we are probably just going to die before we have a chance to do anything. But, there's always game 3. Oh, we have to discard? Jeez. Didn't even think about that. What do we care about the least here? I mean, he can draw us lands, so that is useful. We can't get rid of any pump spells or brainstorm. Sylvan Library might be too slow at this rate. But I think it's one of the lands that we should get rid of here. I'm thinking maybe just Pendelhaven. The +1 could be rather useful, I suppose. Problem is we will have no access to blue mana if I get rid of the Heath. I could also just ditch Nature's Claim and hope that he doesn't draw Sulfuric Vortex. Are we even beating Vortex? I mean, if we get Nature's Claim, maybe, but otherwise, unlikely. This is a tough one. This is one of those decisions where the game could hang in the balance. I think Library might just be too slow. It costs 2 mana. We're already really far behind, and we can't afford to pay life to draw the cards anyway, so that's why I'm going to get rid of it. He's probably going to play Searing Blaze here, which, if I remember rightly, 1 damage to target player and 1 damage to target creature that player controls. So unfortunately, that doesn't work the way that I want it to. I don't think. I think that the way that that works is that this will still resolve and hit us for 3 either way. Grab Inkmoth. Yep, that's unfortunate, because it still had a target. But if Searing Blaze, for example, said deal 3 damage to target creature and its controller, then if we had killed our guy in response, it would not have dealt any damage to us. But unfortunately, that card is not that good, or not that weak. It's better than that. Right now, I think we have to top deck Berserk or something. Like, I don't think there's actually anything that saves us here. Because even like Pendelhaven, we only have 1 mana to activate with the Inkmoth. Or only 1 mana to do anything, so I think our best line, Undo, is to try and hit something impressive with Brainstorm. Well, we hit another Inkmoth. That's hardly impressive, though. We're going to put it on top. So we just have too many lands. I think our best line here is going to be to just Nature's Claim our own Inkmoth. Is to block with Inkmoth. Well, we can't block with the Inkmoth, unfortunately. Price of Progress, you say. That deals 4 damage to each player. Oh shit, did I just... Oh, damn it. I'm so used to activating with something else, so I totally just fucked us up there. What I was supposed... We just lose the game now, so that was a huge mistake. What I was supposed to do, clearly, was activate the Inkmoth using itself and then cast Nature's Claim. But even a Bolt still just kills us here, so maybe it won't matter. Alright, he had Fire Blast, so even if we had done that, we would have still died. That doesn't make it any less of a mistake, it just means that it doesn't really matter quite as much. Alright, so what do we want here? Make these bigger. I don't know why they're not. Force of Will is still bad. Is there anything in the deck that's bad? Not a huge fan of Necropede. Like, it's fine, I just don't love it. Kind of the same deal with Sylvan Library, but... I mean, I could take out Green Sun Zenith in favor of Probe. That wouldn't be the worst. It's just, again, that Probe is pretty painful. I guess I'd rather just have that, despite the fact that it hurts us. We just drew too many lands and had an awkward hand there. Okay, this is a thing. This is definitely a thing. So we have turn 1 Hierarch with Daze backup, and then we have a Blighted Agent, hopefully turn 2, though it's likely going to die. If it doesn't, we can just draw well, hopefully, and kill them with Berserk. opponent deciding whether or not to mulligan. Really tanking on it, which is interesting. I've never played Burn seriously, and I've never played it at all in Legacy, but I would assume that it's not that hard to choose keeps. Unless it's like a land-heavy hand, like maybe a 3-land hand with Sulfuric Vortex and some other stuff. Anyway, we'll find out, since he kept. So we'll play a turn 1 Hierarch. I'm going to avoid playing Probe for life if I can. So next turn we get to play Blighted Agent, even if we have to daze. Goblin Guide, we're definitely letting that resolve. The only thing we're going to stop is something that stops our Blighted Agent from living. In case that's not obvious. They drew a land, which is... honestly, that's the best land we could have drawn. It helps us protect our Blighted Agent even further. Doesn't make a huge difference because most of his burn spells deal 3, but it certainly is better. So here's a time that could be a really opportune moment to cast Gataxian Probe. Because if he only has one way to interact with the agent, we'd rather just play Hierarch and hold up Daze. But if he has multiple ways, we might want to hold up Daze and hold up Pendelhaven. So I think I'm going to go for it this time. But this could be an incredibly stupid thing to do. Alright, so he has Smash, which is not going to have a target this game. Or at least we're going to do our best to make sure it doesn't. He has 2 lands. So yeah, it was a 3-lander, it looks like. With lots of creatures and not a ton of interaction, and that is why he didn't... that's probably why he was so concerned. I think it was a mistake of him to bring in Smash. It's just not good enough against this deck. It only has 4 Ink Moths. Like, it's not enough for Smash to be good. And Chain Lightning's the only card he has that interacts with our Blighted Agent. So, with that information in hand, we are going to play our Blighted Agent. Oh, I just realized that this doesn't work the way I want it to, does it? Damn. Oh well. Maybe we can find a way to kill him with Berserks. What I mean by that is that he has 2 lands, and so he can cast Chain Lightning if he so desires. And I'm sure he will. But we can't actually stop that no matter what. Even Pendelhaven doesn't save it, so there's not really any point in caring. Unless he top decks like Searing Blaze. Which, in that case, we're over the moon, because that means he won't, you know. Okay, Swift Spear first. That was a mistake. That was a huge mistake. I can't believe he did that. That was definitely the biggest mistake he possibly could have made in this game, and it very likely could cost him. Like, we would be in such a worse position if he had played Chain Lightning first, because we wouldn't have an Infect threat anymore. But now we have an Infect threat and Berserk, and that's probably going to be enough to just kill him. Because we get 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's going to be 5 power plus Berserk. Yeah, we're just going to hit him for 10. We don't even need that Vines. He's just straight up dead. Like, I'm literally not even going to cast Vines here. I don't know why I was stopping my draw. Alright. So, I mean, there is a very, very small chance that he drew... whatever that card is called. Fire Blast. But if that's the case, our Vines will protect it. And we'll find out right here whether or not that actually happened. Cancel. So it's officially out of blast range. And now we have Berserk with Vines backup, even if he did have some absurd 0 mana burn spell. So we get to hit him for exactly 10. And it's GG. Alrighty. We'll see you guys in match 4.